Hi guys, Colleen from Walking the Resonant Path here. I just wanted to do a book review of a book I've just finished reading called The Celestine Prophecy and Adventure by James Redfield. I will do what I always do, I'll read the blurb and then I will tell you what I've thought of it. Are 3 decades of interest in modern physics, ecology, mystical religion and interpersonal psychology finally synthesizing into a new spiritual common sense? Are we now beginning to live this new common sense? Can it become the dominant paradigm of the next century? An ancient manuscript has been found in Peru. Its contents 9 insights the human race is predicted to grasp as we enter an era of true spiritual awareness. In this gripping adventure tale, James Redfield offers a compelling vision of the new spiritual understanding that is emerging in human culture. You will instantly recognize the truth of the first insight. In each of our lives occurs mysterious coincidences, sudden unexplained events that, once interpreted correctly, serve to guide and direct our actions. Join the adventure and let this synchronistic perception guide you through a daring search for the remaining insights. Each will be found in turn, and each will clarify how a growing link with the spiritual is relentlessly transforming human life. Reading like a story of high adventure, but having the in-depth effect of a spiritual parable, the Celestine Prophecies will take you on a journey that will lighten your soul and connect with a vision and an experience that is already changing the world. So basically, the adventure story obviously is just a made-up story. And what they're trying to do through that made-up story is tell you about these different spiritual ideas that they think are going to happen in the world, or that James Redfield or, other people, we've heard a lot of these insights before, that are going to happen in the world. So what I did like is I like that they put it in an adventure story because that made it fun. And I did like the adventure story, and I did like, people chasing them, and that these insights were supposed to be suppressed in Peru and the church didn't want them to come out. So they're chasing people down, and there's guys chasing them with guns, and they've got to get away, and they've got to find out how to, go get to the next insight and learn about the next insight. And, it said that these insights, you can't just, somebody who knows about it can't just tell you them all. You have to come across them one at a time. And you'll run into somebody who will tell you about them, and that's the way the insights are supposed to evolve for each person. So it was you were waiting for the main guy to run across the next insight and then see who he's going to meet to learn about the next insight, while these guys are chasing them with guns and trying to suppress them, and also other people in the church are trying to suppress it, so they don't know who to trust and things like that. So I quite enjoyed the adventure story bit of it. Some of the insights I don't agree with. I thought were honestly bull dust. And not mainly the insights. I mean, most of the insights I kind of agreed with, but like there was maybe 1 or 2 that I didn't. But some of the premises on which the insights were based, I thought were bull dust. Like, they made this big sort of generalization that, like, in one part that all abused children go on to be abusers. Well, we actually know that's not true. I have a psychology degree. I've studied things like this, and that is absolutely not true. It's not that none do. Of course, some abused children go on to be abusers, but not all of them do. So I hate things that make big generalizations, saying all people act like this, or all people do this, or all people that have had this happen to them do this. I really don't like those sorts of generalizations. As I said, don't agree with all the insights, but a lot I do agree with. But I don't agree with some, there were quite a few where they did big generalizations, and I definitely didn't agree with the big generalizations. I like the adventure story. The main guy in it was fine, and the people you meet up with seem nice, except I did not like, by the way, this was written in the 90s, where I think that people should have known better, or should know better by then. And it was sort of, they used a word which I will not use, by the way. I will say indigenous Peruvians. And the thing that disturbed me, it wasn't the word that they used, because, some people don't understand that may be offensive. But indigenous, like some of the good guys in this were supposed to be some of the priests who understood these insights and understood they weren't going to, break down the church, but they were going to help people see spirituality on a whole different level, right? But the thing I didn't like is one of the good priests, or supposedly good guys, Father Sanchez, he was talking about, they used to convert people in this awful way, forcing people to convert, and indigenous Peruvians to convert, But, you know, in our mission, we don't do that. We, you know, go out and visit the Indigenous Peruvians and we talk to them about these insights and things with it, and then they come to the church themselves. So we convert them with heart, not with force. Well, you know what? You're still going and trying converting people away from their original way of thought. So I did not like that in the book. I did not like, you know, it's fair enough if people come to you and ask what you think about things and different religions and different things. Or if they, you know, look up something on social media and find out about it, or if they read a book about it and they want to go there. But to go out with the absolute intention of changing people's minds and making them believe in something different, don't like that. Didn't love that. But that wasn't basically what the whole book was about. That was just, you know, when they were talking about the exact priests and the missionaries. But, you know, they did talk about other spirituality, because obviously Insights, this was based in Peru, so it was about Mayan spirituality and things like that as well, but mixed in with Christian spirituality. But I didn't like the bit about conversions and stuff. That didn't thrill me. Also, I didn't like the fact that they made women look a bit, what do I say, dim, needy. Okay, so a lot of these women were intelligent scientists and they went with that. But they had like one of these intelligent scientist women. There was a group of like men. And because she wanted to, you know what these group of men with guns and that, you know, knew, because they were supposed to be for the Insights and knew. And yet she felt uncomfortable being with them. But instead she just like went, oh, well, anyway, I want to know this. So I'll just go off with all these men with guns without anybody else coming with me and I'll be fine. And don't worry about me, and I won't listen to my intuition, and I'll just do the dumb girly thing and go, you know, I'll just go with these guys because they, you know, even though I'm scared and I don't really like them, I'll just do it anyway because I want to know what they're doing and seem trustworthy and stuff. So I'll be fine. I'll just toddle off there. And I'm sorry, but that makes a really intelligent scientist woman look really stupid. And also there was this kind of weird romance in there. It wasn't a romance, but it was, and nothing really happened. All it was to do was show about how people control each other with their energy. But it was just sort of stagnant here and there, and it didn't seem to really fit with the rest of the book or the story. I didn't really like it. And it wasn't even in hardly in a word, which was good, which was a good point, but kind of weird. And I don't think it really fit with the rest of the book, but I did like the adventure story. I do agree with, you know, a lot of the insights, like about how the world up is made up of energy, and we can use our energy to influence different things and to manifest things and stuff like that. Did agree with those sorts of things, and I did agree with some of the others, but some of the others I didn't. And so to me, this book was a fun adventure story with some interesting spiritual insights. And really, just read it and see what you think, because I think it's worth a read. Because the other thing I did like is that it makes you think, and I like books that make you think and talk to yourself and question yourself. Because throughout this, I was going, well, I don't necessarily believe that. Why don't I believe that? I don't believe that for this reason. No, but could it be possible? Well, it might be possible for this reason. So it made me really have a sort of debate with myself, and I would journal about it and stuff. So it's good for those things. So I enjoyed the adventure story. I enjoyed some of the spiritual aspects, and I enjoyed the sort of making me think aspects. So I will give it 3.5 cauldrons. So that's The Celestine Prophecy, an adventure story by James Redfield, 3.5 cauldrons. Well, I hope you have a glorious day and do whatever resonates within your soul. Bye now.